All right. Good afternoon. Good morning if you're on the Pacific side with me. So, I had a request here to go over my options journal here to explain how to put some trades in, how you would work it, what everything is. So, I thought that I would go ahead and do that for you guys this morning here. So, let's see. Starting off, first things first, guys. I'm going to put the link to this journal in the description below. So what you're going to have to do is make sure you're viewing it. Great, you did that, right? And you're going to go up here to File, and you're going to go up to Make Copy, and that will put a copy of this on your Google Drive. I'm not going to release permissions. I don't want it to be edited. You guys got to make a copy. Okay, so once that's done, you are able to move on with that. Everything, I shouldn't say everything, but most things here, guys, are going to be self-populating fields here. So on the year-to-date tab, the next tab over, you won't need to touch anything here. This will all pre-fill, okay? And I will go back and touch on this at the very end, all right? Now, this is the journal page. It's actually quite in-depth because I'm just a numbers guy. It could probably be a lot smaller in that case, but just to give you a quick look, you can see there's quite a few fields here. And there are only a few things you're going to touch. Well, actually, you're going to touch quite a lot, and you're going to leave a few things alone. So this one here, right? This options journal, I'm going to back up on it, is only for options. I don't have it calculating anything for stocks. So if you trade stocks, this won't really work. If you trade like covered calls, there's nowhere to put the stock side in there. So this will just be options, whether you do long options, or if you're like me where you sell options or sell spreads, anything like that. So here we go, guys. I got a couple of samples in here. Now, obviously, first column is self-explanatory. That is just the number trade, right, that you are in. Okay, the next one is the account side. If you are like me and you have multiple accounts, whether that's just a cash account and a margin account, or maybe you have an IRA as well and a business account, this is where you would select. And there's multiple here, and you can actually add more if you happen to have more. So I'll quickly touch over here on the other tab, List tab. This is where the journal pulls from on account type and strategies. Okay, and then whether if it's credit or debit. So you can see here under the account side, I have a margin of cash, a business margin, business cash, an IRA, a SEP IRA, maybe a 401k, and others that you can pre-fill, as many as you want, okay? And then strategies I have in here so far, like a long calls, long puts, short call, short put, vertical bear, vertical bull puts, all that wonderful stuff. Iron Condors, short strangles, that stuff, okay? And that pulls over here in the strategy side. So just we'll go over here, just select your account, right? So you're trading in maybe a cash account. The ticker, that's self-explanatory. Just put the ticker in here that you're trading. Do not touch DTE, okay? Everything that's blue, almost everything that's blue is what you're going to do. The DTE, the light blue colors here are auto calculating fields. So leave the DTE alone. You can see if you look up here at the top, there's a calculation in there already. And then the next field is going to be whether that's a credit or a debit. So in this case, we're going to pretend we're going long on a call. So you'll do debit, and then the strategy would be a long call. Next field over is going to be an entry date. Self-explanatory again, that's today's date. The price that you paid for that. So if you paid $1.15, you would go ahead and put that in here. The size, again, that's the amount of contracts you're using. The commissions, okay. I don't have that auto filling only because everybody trades at every other broker and the commissions can be a little bit different. So you go ahead and manually put those in here, right? And then your expiration date, okay. Then if you're like me, you can if you're like me, you can pre-fill everything else out, or you can leave that alone, right? Not mandatory. So then you got a pop and P50. This will really works under Tastyworks because they give both those fields. If you're with any other broker, you won't get the P50, but you can kind of estimate a pop, which is more for short plays, not a long play. So I usually leave that alone if I'm doing a long play, like we have, right? And then next field, right? We have long calls, long puts, and short puts. All right, so in this case, we're pretending we bought a 300 strike long call. So you go ahead and write that in there. You'll skip everything. For me, I like to... Okay, sorry about that, guys. I actually had to pause the video and go help my children. So back to where we were. after you put in your 30 strike in here, or not 30, excuse me, you say we bought the 300 call, right? You can leave the rest alone because this is a long play. Then call long delta. For me, for instance, I like to do right around that at the money. So we'll just pretend that was a 50 delta. You go ahead and put that in there and you'll leave the rest alone. And then you got a theta and delta column, right? The theta, if you went long, is going to be negative. So we'll just pretend this was like a negative, I don't know, 12 theta. And the deltas, we would just pretend that was, I don't know. We'll just put a number in here, 15. Okay. Then the next line here is going to be max profit. This pre-fills, so do not touch this line, guys. It's going to do a calculation. And if you do a long call, technically your max profit is infinite here. Your max loss will pre-fill based on the debit calculation and the price you paid. So in this case, the max loss is going to be $115, right? Then coming along here, we'll just kind of move on over your exit date. Say we did the same thing, so we'll just pretend it was, let's see, entry was 12/31/19. We'll day trade this, so 12/31/19. Exit price is going to be, just say we got out at $2, and for me, commissions at the end would be like 14 cents. Okay, and then now as you can see over here, we'll just scroll back down. The gross P&L will go ahead and auto calculate for you. It'll tell you the gain that you got. In this case, that would have been a 73.9% gain. Total commissions, it'll auto calculate that for you, $1.28 here. And then it'll do the net P&L, which is, gross minus commissions here. All right. And then it tells you the days in trade if you like to keep track of that. In this case, it was a day trade, so 0. And then lastly, there's a column here if you need to make notes, something like, oh, I shouldn't have bought this here, or I should have bought it somewhere else. Or I held on too long, something like that, just for your records, right? Self-explanatory field. So that's like a long play. Now, say you went ahead and you sold a call. So this would be an undefined risk trade. And we'll use this one over here, the next column down, next row down, excuse me. So we'll select our account. In this case, we'll do a margin account. Well, you have to, and you do a short play anyways. So then we got, ticker discount time, right? You're going to change that to credit. And I'll just show you here. There's only 2 to pick from, credit or debit. So credit, because we sold an option. The strategy was a short call. So we picked that short call. Same thing, right? Put your date in, say the price that you went ahead and sold this at, right? So I sold it. Well, let's just pretend we sold it for $1. Okay. Again, one contract. Commissions, again, $1.14. Expiration date, we'll pretend it's January 20th here. And then the pop, you'll have something in here. This might say it's going to be a 70 pop and an 85 P50. So what I do is I just kind of come in here. I do 70% / 85%. Okay. And that tells me my pop and my P50. And we're going to pretend that we sold the 35 strike. And we're going to skip on down. And now we're going to go to the next column here, the short call delta. Right, so in this case, it's going to be probably, for me, short call delta right around, say, just a 20 delta. Okay, put that on in there. The theta, this will be a positive number because it is a short play. So just pretend the theta on Yelp, I don't know, is going to be like $1.25, right? And then the deltas, because it's short, it's going to be a negative, we'll just say 2, right? And now it's going to pre-fill again. Max profit will be 100 because that is the credit that we received. And max loss will pre-fill here as undefined because this is a short call. Okay. And then same thing, guys, right? You can do your exit date. We held on to this one for a few days. So we're going to pretend that we got out on 131.20 for an exit price of, it's going to be less than $1. So we're going to pretend we got it for 50, right? So we're going to do a 50-cent debit. And it'll, again, only cost 14 cents to get out because that's my commissions. And now if you look over here, okay, gross profit would be $50. The percent here would be 50% because you got $100 in credit. You bought it back for $50. That's 50%. Okay, self-explanatory. Again, back to the total commissions, the net P&L, and here you can see it pre-filled that days in the trade to 47 days, right? So, and then of course you got your notes. All right, so it's all self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through each and every one, but you got like I'll do one more here, right? We'll do we'll just go over this vertical bull put spread. Okay. So same thing, guys, right? You put your account in here, you leave that as a credit because I like to sell. Now, vertical bull put spread is a credit spread. So if you did it the other way where it'd be a vertical bear put spread, you would change this to a debit, right? Because a vertical bear put spread is a debit. So in this case, we're going to go credit, right? We got our date, we got our entry price here, $1.65. That's 1/3 the width of a $5 wide spread. Okay, one size. In this case, if there's two, because it's a vertical spread, so it's going to be for me 228. There's my expiration date. And then again, guys, right out of the money play, this say would be like a 65% pop and a 72% P50. So you just put that right on in there. And since this is a put, you come over here now, 2 legs. So you're going to go ahead and your long put, 32.35s, and that short put a 32.40. Okay. So now you know what strikes you got. Then you'd come over here to the put side, the deltas on that. We're going to pretend it was a 25 on the long and a 30 on the short. Okay, and the theta on this case, we're just going to, let's say SPX. Okay, this is a bigger product. We're going to pretend it's 45 theta. And then it's also a long play here. So the deltas, we're just going to pretend they're 25. Okay, now you can see it pre-fills this. Again, $165 is your max profit. Your max loss is calculated based on the width of the spread. So in this case, it's a $5 wide, right? It's going to pull information from these 2 columns here, which is why you need to put them in if you want to get all the actual numbers. So it's a $5 wide, so it knows that that's a 500 and that you received $1.65, so it calculates that as your max loss of $335, right? And same thing, right, guys? We got our expiration date, and then we got our exit price. In this case, it would be 28 in commissions. And there you go. Gross profit 80. My profit here percent 48.48. Total commissions, net, P&L, days in the trade. Boom. Okay. There we go. So same thing if you were to do a call side of things, you win a bear call spread instead. You just do, the opposite side, put them on the calls. It will still pre-fill for you. All right. Now, strangles, we'll touch basis on that. Same thing, right? You put your short strangle in, you know that that's going to be a credit. Put all your information in, and this time a strangle, it's the 2 short. So you put your short put, your short call, and then you can pre-fill everything again. It's going to tell you that that is also undefined because you have a short call, and then off you go. Now, iron condors, guys, same scenario. You're just going to go ahead and put everything in, calls and puts, and it will calculate that for you. So it's all really simple, really easy once you get the hang of it. Now, people will ask me, well, how do I record something where I roll a trade? All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll just pretend that we had a short put on here. We'll use this, column number or row number 9 here, right? So we got our short put in here, and we have our date. We got our trade. Okay, that's the first initial entry price with expiration of 2/17. Now, on a short put, guys, this is the one thing that does not, I'm going to touch back on this one. This one does not autofill for you. So here where it'll, if you have a short put, it will tell you insert max loss here, right? I should probably go ahead and fix it so it does that. So you can see, so when you're putting the trade on, you'll see it'll tell you input your max loss. If you pay attention to your platform, you'll know how much that max loss is. In this case, we'll just pretend it was like 5,000, right? And it pre-fills that, but I'm going to leave that blank because I want that to show when you do your template. Okay, so that goes in there, right? You'd fill that part in. That's the only time you'd ever change the no change columns. Okay, and then everything else is the same. It's going to pre-fill everything for you. You can see here any trade that is open, it'll list open because you do not have a exit date on here. All right. Now, say you were to roll this trade out. Well, how do I record that, James? How do I do that? No problem. It's quick and easy. You just come back in here and, okay, well, I did it for $1.01 and now I rolled out instead of 217. I went to just say, we'll just go 228, right? So you'll come back to your entry price because hopefully you rolled for a credit, and there's your 101. So you can do an equal sign or you can do a plus sign, right? And you put your original trade in 101, and then say we rolled this for another 35 cents. So then you go plus 0.35. Okay. And then that, once you hit enter, it's going to change your amount. You can see up here, there's my total rolls. Here's my new total net credit. Then what you're going to want to do also is adjust your commissions. Okay. So you can see I'm going to change this to 1 so it's not so funky, make it easier, right? So there's my 1 trade, but I rolled, right? So you have to remember that. Okay, so you're going to come in here and you need to do, why does that look different? Hold on, pause. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to go back and review my other trade journal. So here we go. You got you're in here and you rolled it, right? So you originally paid $1.14. Now say you rolled it. So rolling means you're closing the first trade. So for me, it's going to be another 14 cents. So you just go ahead and put that on there and you open a new play. So it's going to be $1.14. So then plus $1.14. Okay. And now you can see here, my total commissions would be $2.42. And then expiration date, I would change this. Now say to 28.20. Okay. Now you're good to go again. Everything's the same. Your max profit now increases. All right. So that's how you would input your rolls. And if you rolled, trades 13 times, you're going to have in here, plus 20 cents. And then you're going to come back in here plus 14 plus $1.14, right? Every time you roll. So you just put those in. Everything else again pre-calculates for you guys. So really easy, really simple. All right. Now I want to touch back over here on year to date. This information, it's still a work in progress, so it's not full, right? I'm trying to get super in depth and I'm only limited to what I know. But these stats here, these will pull based on all of the information in the trade journal, whether it is opened or closed. All right. So it'll tell you number of total trades. And that's going to show you here total 12 trades. Okay. And you can see that's why these trade numbers come in line. So total 12 trades. So it's going to tell you there, right? It's going to tell you 9 are winners and 3 are losers. But again, it's pulling all information. So if you have anything in here or not, that's going to tell you, right? My 3 losers, because I don't have an exit price pre-filled because those are open. So it's acknowledging it kind of like a loser, right? So, you can put a number in there on like every day where it's trading to get a rough idea, or you can leave it alone and not worry about it. Okay. And then it's going to tell you how profitable you are. It'll tell you your average percent gain, your average percent loss, your average total gain, right? Like gross gain loss. So it's your biggest. I want to see AB. I think that's everything. Let me just double check on mine. Gross gain. Yep. So this is all trade journals, your total gains, and then this is through your total trade journal, all your total losses. Okay. Then we come back over here, your average trade profit. So how much you make on average per trade, your average winning trade. Okay. Your average losing trade, your win to loss ratio, your average days in trade, your biggest win, your biggest loser, total you've paid in commissions, right? Gross profits, gross losses. Your P&L ratio there as well. Okay. And then the number of trades and strategies. So if you like, well, what do I trade the most of? Short puts, long calls, that'll pull information in there. All right. Now, this will also change if you filter it. So, okay, well, this is my current everything, right? Now, if I wanted to see only my closed trades, you can put a filter on here, right? So you'd select column or row 5. You come over here to the filter and just click filter. Let's see. Why is it not work? There we go. I did too many. All right, so I got the filters up. You can see these little dashes and little lines here next to each item. If you came over here and dropped the filter down and took off the blanks, right? So it only is anything that has ever been closed and hit OK. It will change it. It will show only your closed plays. Okay. And now if you come over here, it's going to show you, right? Total number of trades are still going to be the same, but it's going to show you your winners and your losers here. That's 7, right? So there's your 7 winners, no losers out of that. And you were 58% probability. That's not right. That is inaccurate. So that did not work as I thought it would do. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and rewind here, guys. It is only on all your trades. Okay. Unfortunately, unless somebody's more familiar with Excel, guys, that can pull it in separately, please let me know. shoot me a comment in the comment field. I would love to have that pull only closed trades for my, profitability side of things. But that's it, you guys. That's how you use it. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comment fields below. If you're new, guys, give me a like, give me a subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.